Hello everyone, this is Loganath Siva Upendran. I am with TCS as a client partner supporting automotive and industrial manufacturing customer based out of Midwest.
Hi, I'm Jason Carr and I work for Material Handling North America, and I'm responsible for our ServiceNow instance at not only our Columbus location, but recently we joined together our IT departments, and I'm in charge of that instance as well.
And we are here to talk about our transformation journey with Toyota Material Handling that we had. So Jason, why don't you talk about TMH and where we started with this ServiceNow journey? We'll talk about where we are heading towards the future of ServiceNow.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember back in 2019 we were trying to find a partner to work with that really was aligned with the Toyota values. And part of those values is Kaizen. We were moving from an instance that was controlled by one of our corporate companies, and we wanted to have our own instance so that we had more control on how we served our customers and what their customer experience was. And we very quickly, within a couple months, re-implemented ServiceNow. And it was the basic pieces of incident management, problem management, ITSM, and DevOps. And what we got out of that very quickly was just improved process, especially on the DevOps side, where the previous process that we had set up was very cumbersome as we were trying to meet JSOC's requirements, and then we streamlined that process. But I think working with you and working with the team, what I really valued was the heart of Kaizen. It's something very dear to Toyota, and as we rolled out ServiceNow, again, our customers had a poor view of their experience before, but we worked together hand in hand to ensure that we were continually improving the customer experience within ServiceNow and doing those nimble changes.
That was a great story. Actually, we had a privilege of getting a great set of the problem statement with us, and then that helped us to kind of plan this transformation journey. Well, any transformation that we have looked at will definitely have a change in people, technology, and process. In this particular case, we thought the technology and people pretty much well covered, but the process, because it was kind of coming out from a different instance. So with the help of you, we did understand, and we used I hope you remember that we used a framework called RapidNow, which helped us to start from the pre-configured version. That way we were able to hit the road pretty quick within 12 months. And I think that was one of the success story which I believe liked by many of the business community within TMH. That's one of the story. And then obviously there are many other factors that we want to talk about. One of the things that I want to talk about, the customer success, customer experience, which transformed. And can you talk about that a little bit on how it helped before and after moving to ServiceNow?
When we implemented in 2019, we were coming fresh off of two different IT organizations merging together. And as that occurred, there was two different approaches to how we served our customer. And we were having trouble aligning that process between the two different companies. And this implementation helped us to realign, because now we were going towards more of a standardized process, which then raised our customer satisfaction rating. As we were working, with our different customers, we were able to track that a little bit more specifically, because now we own the instance and so on. And it's kind of funny, now you fast forward to 2024 and we find ourselves back into the same situation or a similar situation where we are now merging IT departments, and we see that there's a lot of redundancy between the two teams, a lot of expertise. And so now we're trying to figure out, how do we take and merge together those two separate instances? They're focused really heavily on CSM and have had amazing luck and really good benefits from implementing that for their field service team. Mm-hmm. And whereas we focus more on the ITSM side.
Yeah, that's absolutely matching with what ServiceNow is also kind of marching towards. Well, the days long gone because ITSM, I mean, ServiceNow was considered just as a ITSM tool, whereas now it's being a platform to enable business processes to work together and enabling more customer-centric operations using ServiceNow. I think the strategy, what we are putting for, is probably well aligned with what ServiceNow is also trying to achieve. And I think the next year, when K25, I think we are going to talk about our journey of putting the AI to work. Probably we'll be presenting that story for the next year.
Yeah, I was just talking to our head of our field services team, and he was telling me that they were really interested in using Now Assist to be able to help them better service the technicians that are in the field repairing all of our different equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with the partnership we had, we also definitely, there are 3 key metrics that we were able to achieve. And number 1, obviously, time to market was pretty faster with now with the complex set of processes to streamlined set of processes. Every change has been is kind of making way to business community faster, and also the rapid delivery model that we put in, that is again helping. And eventually, what we are looking at is how do we enable this to more of a business-oriented IT operations for our end customers. Yeah. I mean, internal and also external. And I think, Jason, it's a good idea to also talk about the DevOps journey that we were trying to do together.
We had a lot of complications in our previous system in meeting JSOX requirements. It was a very bureaucratic and tedious process. And when we started the re-implementation of ServiceNow, that was one of the focal areas that we looked at, and how do we streamline that process? And unfortunately, one of the things that happened is we still didn't get it right the very first time. And that's when members from the TCS team stepped in and used their experience to help us kind of chart it out and really ask us questions about specifically what were we trying to get out of the process and what specific things were we trying to meet from a JSOX requirement. There were things that we believed that we had to meet from a JSOX requirement, but in the end, we didn't have to. We were being overzealous with it. And through that, we streamlined the process, which reduced the amount of time that our SAP developers, our AS400 developers were spending just doing administrative work. We gave them a certain percentage of time back so that they could focus on development and focus on value and moving our company forward.
I mean, absolutely, Jason. I think that wouldn't have been possible without having your support and giving that insight on how the DevOps should look like in your organization, in organizational culture. That helped us to make it happen for you. And one other additional point I would like to make is the total cost of ownership. I think there has been a significant improvement on TCO by probably 10-15%. If you agree with me, bringing this instance up from a different instance, that probably would have been a savings for us, which I thought. And again, the customer satisfaction went up by probably 15%. Across internal and external customer communities, what I think.
Yeah, and from a customer satisfaction perspective, we didn't really have clear customer satisfaction metrics beforehand because we were sharing the instance with many different group companies, and then now this was our own, and so we actually were able to see how we were affecting and how we were improving items for folks.
Thank you for your time, Jason, and actually I think it was a phenomenal journey for us. I mean, like I said, it's again a journey, and it's going to continue for again, I'm going to use the theme that we are using right now, put AI into work, and how we can enable our business customers with AI through ServiceNow is going to be our next step.
Excellent, looking forward to it.
It was a great conversation, Jason. Thank you for joining us.